And they know that. In other words, they will not engage the shooter. They will give the person money, and they want them to go. So this clearly, at least from what we knew an hour ago, looked different than what we know about robberies. We now know it is what we would call a traditional workplace violence event. Picking up on what Andy said, McCabe, 3 minutes. 3 minutes is really fast. It's excellent law enforcement response time, and you don't get better than that. And we have this many dead, and probably others who may not make it. And so we can look at motive all the time we want, but we do have a very quick, probably relatively mostly perfect response, and still we have this many dead. I want to just say two things about the people that you saw, or all three people that you saw, just because this does matter. Beshear is known as the consoler in chief amongst governors who I work with, because the state has been hit a lot by natural disasters and crime and other instances. He knows what he's doing, and I thought he performed successfully in that regard. The Mayor Greenberg, is trying to bring Louisville back to life, and so they want to tell the community that this is a safe community. And then the police department is under a new, as of last month, Department of Justice review or complaint regarding civil rights violations. So they come to this as well with a little bit of history, which the governor mentioned. That's the dynamics that you saw today, all of them unified to find out what happened, and then to have the larger discussion about why does this keep happening.
John Miller, you were watching this press conference. What's your reaction to kind of the new additional details that we heard? You've been hearing some more information from your sources as well.
Well, it confirms a lot of what we were building up to before the press conference, which is they arrived and were immediately confronted by the shooter shooting. They took immediate action to enter, had to breach the bank with breaching tools, sledgehammers, and so on to get through, confronted the shooter. There is the question that Deputy Chief Paul Humphreys raised. Did police shoot him in that confrontation, or did he take his own life? Still not clear. What we do know is he's a former or current employee of the bank, according to Deputy Chief Humphreys. Understand him to be a syndicate manager and portfolio specialist who started at the bank in 2018 as an intern, worked his way up into a significant position. And apparently, as Juliet said, this is classic workplace violence. What we're told is he was either a former employee or about to become one. It could explain something that we've grappled with in our conversations here this morning, which is if the bank doesn't open till 9 a.m., how did the shooter get in? As a current employee or former employee, he would have been recognized. Somebody may have unlocked the door to let him in. So we're seeing a picture that is starting to become a richer picture and a little clearer as to motive, which is going to be personal against the bank or personal against the people inside.
Yeah, and now there are 8 people injured. I think we learned there are more people injured.
Two critical.
In
surgery right now, including one who's still in surgery.
Yeah, let's listen to a little bit of sound. I think this is a person whose wife, if I'm not mistaken, was inside of the bank at the time.
She's at the bank at this building. Their protocol is to get into the vault. Me and her have had that conversation several times. Hit the panic button, go to the vault. Don't fight, don't do anything, lock yourself up, hide, and let it go.
Get into the vault. They followed protocol clearly, but obviously when somebody has a deadly weapon, you can't run fast enough. Mr. McCabe, I know you are standing by on all of this. I think we're at like 129 mass shootings in this country so far this year. And that's more than the days of the year that we've already been through. This is different, though, than we've seen in the recent past. It looks like it's potentially someone who was disgruntled. What are you learning?
Well, I mean, that's right, Sarah. It is in detail, in the most kind of specific details. It's different from the last mass shooting that we all got together to talk about, the shooting in Nashville at the Covenant Street
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. The shooting happened in a bank building in downtown Louisville. This man's wife was
I got
there.
a call from my wife panicking that she was locked in the vault, that there was an active shooter in the building, and call 911.
He's Caleb
They
Goodlett.
had a phone inside the vault. She was able to reach me. She's fine. Just a very traumatic phone call to get right at 8:30.
The shooter is dead. Lieutenant Colonel Paul L. Humphrey of the Louisville Police
It
Department.
appears the shooter was, I don't know if it was an active employee or a former employee, but the shooter did have a connection to the location.
Again, 5 dead, 6 wounded in a shooting in Louisville, Kentucky. CBS News Special Report. I'm Vicki Barker.
2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 11:20 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Mosby Building Arts.
Do you have a window or door that needs to be replaced? Well, now's the time to get it done. Let the experts at Mosby Building Arts handle all of your window and door projects, so you are free to grill and chill. Head over to mosbybuildingarts.com and make it happen.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could do business without busy work? With Ramp, you can. Ramp is the future of finance with smart automation, corporate cards, and spend management. Just imagine, no more expense reports or shuffling wrinkled receipts. No more slogging through invoices or getting surprised by unexpected charges. Just your business's big idea with smart spend controls, automation that crushes busy work, and real-time insights so you can make it happen. In other words, Ramp completely reimagined finance to make it work for your business. Get set up, issue corporate cards, and start making payments in less than 15 minutes. See how Ramp does finance. Join today and get $250 just for signing up. Just go to ramp.com/finance. That's ramp.com/finance to get $250 for signing up. That's ramp.com/finance.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lance.drurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. eBay Motors. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Yes, we do have availability. Those dates for how many guests?
Andrea's Boutique Hotel is the destination to tie the knot.
Oh, you want the whole property?
She needs an assistant to catch the bookings bouquets.
249 guests, huh? Oh, and 3 dogs.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Nearly a century of informing, entertaining, and serving St. Louis. KMOX.
I fully understand, Amy, the idea of transparency. And as a country and as a citizen of this country, then we talk about our freedoms all the time. Part of that should be we get to see how the sausage is made.
Mm-hmm.
where I draw the line is when we're talking about covert operations. And so these Pentagon leaks, which, by the way, they're still trying to sift through them and sort through them and determine what's real and what's not, because, as we said, it got posted on that Discord platform, and it ended up on a YouTuber's platform, and then it found its way to 4chan and Twitter and so on and so forth. A lot of the stuff could have been doctored and it not be real. So they're still trying to determine what is real and what isn't. But there some things, and I get again, I understand transparency, but aren't there some things that should not be totally out in the open, especially when people's lives are at risk?
Yes, absolutely. There should be some things that need to be covert. That's the whole, we were just talking, what's the point of covert operation? What's the point of having classified information at all? I mean, when we're looking at the information that was revealed, and the U.S. officials said it, quote, looks real, which I'm going to take it at their word that it, quote, looks real. You're looking at the details of U.S. national security, the details on the war in Ukraine, the Middle East, China, South Korea, the Indo-Pacific military theater, terrorism, the Mossad in Israel, Africa. I mean, really sensitive things. And in fact, one of the photographs purportedly, and again, these are photographs of classified documents, which again leads the U.S. intelligence to believe that this was on purpose, because somebody was taking pictures of these classified documents, and it looked like the anticipated weapons deliveries to Ukraine, as well as estimates of the Ukraine dead and how long their air capabilities would last.
Or the fact that we are spying on Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, which, by the way, his people said, yeah, we know. We know that's what you're doing. You kind of have to, right? But for it to be out there is extremely damaging to the cause. That's not the kind of thing that needs to be out in the open. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Former FBI agent John Summercamp will be joining us next. The 10-year anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombing is a week from today. We'll talk to him about that and what happened in Louisville today, next on KMOX.
I'm Megan Lynch. All next week, an investigation into student privacy every parent needs to hear.
Students should be able to learn and make mistakes.
Your child's school may be tracking every keystroke of their electronic lives.
We are a tool that helps to save lives and prevent danger to children.
Is it keeping them safe or putting them at greater risk?
Profiting off of fear.
We ask those questions next week on KMOX.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey today.
That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick.
What's going on?
Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop.
But this is a jewelry store.
Yeah, I know, but the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct.
But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too?
Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry. It's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, would he look like me?
No.
Go where everyone else goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Well, what if I shaved?
Still no.
For store hours, directions, and more, go to diamondsdirect.com.
Seems like the last few years now, the violence, the hate, the anger is growing. I'm going to try to keep this as upbeat as possible, but to all the police officers, I want you to know we have your back. Not to forget about the fire or EMS, first responders, and definitely not our military. You all put your life on the line. I can't tell you. There's not a word I can say. Thank you is just not enough. And I believe 99.9% of Americans respect what you do. Do whatever you have to do to get back to your family during your shift. From my family to your family, and I think I can speak for overwhelming majority of overwhelming majority of human beings. Stay safe. And thank you for protecting us. And doing what you need to do.
Hi, it's Tom Ackerman. Let's vote for Ophthalmology Associates as best laser eye treatment in St. Louis Magazine's A-list competition. Online at stlmag.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
When companies decide to take shortcuts, the safety of our families are at risk. At Underlaw, we find and expose those shortcuts.
Call Underlaw Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618-9 million.
Countdown to Earth Day. Just 12 days to go. Water treatment plants can get overloaded by excess water. Simply using less water helps keep oceans and rivers cleaner. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
CBS News special report, a mass shooting at a bank in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Metro Police Deputy Chief Paul Humphrey says 5 people were killed, 6 injured at Old National Bank on Main Street.
Officers arrived on scene and encountered the suspect almost immediately, still firing gunshots. Officers exchanged gunshots with that suspect, and ultimately that suspect did die at the scene.
The deputy chief says they've learned more about the shooter.
We believe this is a lone gunman involved in this that did have a connection to the bank. We're trying to establish what that connection was to the business, but it appears he was a previous employee.
Governor Andy Beshear choked back tears as he explained it was his bank and he'd lost a close friend in the shooting. Beshear says another friend is hospitalized along with a police officer. Police say 2 are in critical condition. Mayor Craig Greenberg.
Pray with us for those who are currently at U of L Hospital, injured, fighting for their lives.
CBS News special report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
The KMOX forecast, sponsored by MERS Goodwill for this afternoon. It will be sunny. Some clouds will mix in. Look for a high of 74 degrees. Clear tonight, the low of 52. And for tomorrow, mostly sunny. A nice day, even warmer. The high 74 to 78 degrees. Right now in Florissant, mostly sunny and 67 degrees. In St. Peter's, looking at sunny and 63 degrees. It is sunny and 65 degrees downtown at the Arch. Donate your vehicle today to MERS Goodwill for 4 field box tickets to a 2023 Cardinals game. Easy and towing is free. The forecast is sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and product liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Cardinals fans, baseball is back.
Down the line! Does it stay fair? You bet! It's a slammer!
Catch every pitch from every St. Louis Cardinals game live with News Radio 1120 KMOX on the free Odyssey app.
That's gone! Dylan Carlson!
The voices you know, the team you love.
It is Donner for Arenado!
Your St. Louis Cardinals, your Odyssey. Download the free Odyssey app today.
It's always a little scary when there's a power outage, right? Well, avoid that by calling Reinhold Electric to install an inline generator to your home or business or your vacation home. They do it all the time, and they work all over the state of Missouri and Southern Illinois. They can get you hooked up with an inline generator to your place so you don't go without power. EV charging stations, it's a hot item, and a lot of people are calling Reinhold Electric to get them installed. Call today, 314-631-1158, online, reinholdelectric.com. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Park Provence, an assisted living and skilled nursing memory care community, understands the challenges when caring for a loved one with dementia or other forms of memory loss. You're not alone. Park Provence is a trusted expert in memory care and recently recognized as a best memory care community by U.S. News and World Reports. Call 314-452-5200 Or to learn more, parkprovence.com. That's PARC Provence.com.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's the Cards and Rockies tonight. Everett Total Access 645. First pitch 740.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. As we have told you, we will continually update you on Louisville, the shooting that took place there. 5 people dead, 4 of them victims. 1 of them is the shooter, and they are not exactly sure if he died by his own hand or if police engaged and took him out. But at any rate, there are 8 people who are in the hospital. Some of them are critical, and we will tell you every time we get an update here on KMOX. We go to the guest line today, and we are joined by retired FBI agent John Summercamp, who we've spoken to before. And John, first of all, we appreciate you being with us. Thank you. And secondly, our original intent to talk to you today was about the upcoming 10-year anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombing, which occurred in a week. So it'll be a week from today will be the exact 10-year anniversary. But because of what happened in Louisville today, let's start there. When the FBI gets called in, let's talk about why. Because you've got the local law enforcement, you have the police department, they are there. Why do these other agencies get called in right away?
Well, good morning, Chris and Amy. Thanks for having me on. So the FBI is designated as the lead agency for all mass shootings and or terrorist events in the United States. So that's just something that's been in place for many, many years. So the FBI will take charge at some point of the investigation. But as you said, obviously local police respond much faster, right? They're on the streets, conducting patrols and so forth. So they're going to be the first responders, and then the Bureau will manage the investigation and everything that goes with it after this point.
And imagine when something like this happens, it happens in Louisville, but every other office in every city across the United States, every FBI field office springs into action in one form or another.
So yes, you're correct. They will, send out messages, right? Sometimes to the other offices, just to be alert, because there's usually what happens is there's some connections oftentimes with people that committed these crimes, and then their connections maybe with other cities, other people, where they've been just historically. So it takes kind of that nationwide effort to help with generating new information so that they can quickly kind of see if there's other people involved, or at least learn the history of the suspect that was involved in this shooting.
And that's where the FBI and these and intelligence agencies help out the most, right? Then that is with gathering background, figuring out who these people are that commit these acts and why they do it.
Correct. Right. It's all about the amount of information that you're able to pool in over time. And obviously the FBI spans all 50 states here in America and beyond. Really, we have our offices in foreign countries as well, legal attaches where we get information from. But right, the locals don't have that as well. Right, you're isolated in the city. The city is Louisville or St. Louis or Sacramento, wherever you're at. So it's a lot easier for the Bureau to connect with their own employees and offices to get that information.
When something like this happens, and I know we also brought you in to talk about the Boston Marathon bombing, obviously an act of terrorism, a mass shooting. Where does the heaviest part of the investigation fall? On the FBI? How does it fall in with the ATF, which I know is also present in Louisville? I think I would have a hard time parsing the different jobs that the ATF and the FBI are doing in a situation like this or in Boston.
Good question. So again, as I said previously when I came on, the FBI is in charge of all mass shootings and the investigations that follow, as well as terrorist events. They are already partnered with. So a lot of this, right, is predetermined, if you will, as to all the agencies that are involved, the training that goes into it ahead of time, the response. So they're not reinventing anything new at this juncture. They know to contact, and the others become involved, like ATF, Homeland Security. You can even have the DEA, the FAA. It depends what act happened and what information you need. And then, like you said, you parcel it out to have the ATF maybe specifically look at the guns that are recovered or a bombing that happens, right? We were talking earlier about, right, that was the Boston bombing. So they have expertise that the Bureau does as well, but a little bit more, and that's how they parcel it out.
Yeah, one thing that I think is important to note is there's the old TV/movie trope where a crime happens, police are on the scene, the FBI shows up and says, we're taking over now, and then the local police are all upset about it, and it's like this rivalry, but it's not really like that when the FBI arrives on scene.
No, you're correct. So that's how it was maybe 20 some years ago. And after 9/11, a lot of that changed, right? They created joint terrorism task forces in every office, in every city. And they work closely with the local law enforcement on those task forces. So when you come to this point, right, somewhere in Louisville or anywhere else in America, right, the agents are not only working closely with the local law enforcement, like they're good friends. Like we would work together on cases for years, right? They would be part of the squads and sharing information. So it's not at all like it used to be or you reference in the movies. It's just simply you're more, right? There's almost friendships with a lot of the people involved at this point. It's not adversarial, so to speak.
Let's go to Boston back in 2013. On April 15th, it will be the 10 years since the tragic Boston Marathon bombing that killed 3, injured 260 people, including 16 people who had to have their legs amputated. Just a tragic situation. And I can only imagine the chaos in that moment. I'm a runner. I remember, I had friends who were down there. Someone from St. Louis was knocked down by the blast. Like you see someone that you know, and the force of the blast knocks that person down, and it people all across the country were affected. It happened later in the race when there were about 5,600 runners still attempting to finish the marathon, and there was confusion, didn't know who did it, and that investigation was led by the FBI, and a big breakthrough was made by the FBI about 2 days later in exactly who these suspects were. Can you walk us through a little bit of the process from the moment you hear about the explosion at the finish line of the Boston Marathon to the breakthroughs in the case?
So going back, right, it's I was saying this earlier, it's surprise. You think in your mind, right, it's been 10 years, it doesn't seem that long. That this happened, seems more recently in our memory. But when these events happen just like this, right, there is already in place a plan of action. So, right, this isn't just, as I mentioned earlier, kind of done on the fly. It's how to respond and who's responding and who's in charge. And there's a lot of training that goes into it. So it doesn't look as crazy and unorganized when you show up. And the Bureau, right, will initially, it's just a matter of a mass casualty response, right? You're just trying to help the injured. But at some point, they'll set up a command post and they will begin working on actively the investigation and trying to determine what happened. And in this case, right, what they scoured through was just the video cameras from around the city. And that's what identified the 2 brothers initially They didn't know who they were, if I recall, but they had the faces, right? Pictures of them that they distributed. They just didn't know who they were. And then it becomes a massive manhunt, if you will, that you're looking for two subjects, names unknown, and seeing if people can provide information to you. And obviously you're working with the locals. Right? There's a massive law enforcement response in the city.
Yeah, and for a while they shut down the city, right? If I remember correctly, there was no businesses, no people out on the streets. It was a very strange thing to happen back then.
That's correct. I think that was many days later, actually. I think there were 3 that were killed, if I recall, in the bombing itself, but there was also a police officer at the campus that was killed a few days later by the brothers,
right,
who tried to did take his weapon. And then, it's just a massive response at that point by law enforcement. And then it unfolded throughout the next day or two, and ended up capturing one brother and killing the other.
And that was a really fascinating thing. I guess fascinating is not the right word, but you've got the one brother who's killed in a shootout, then he gets run over by the car, and then the other one ends up in somebody's backyard, just in the boat. He was inside the boat, and I know the person who lived there called the 911 and said, "Hey, there's somebody in my boat." When that happened, did they know right away that's who it was?
I don't have firsthand account of that, but I could say with a high level of confidence that yes. So, right, the city was on lockdown, I think, just after that police officer was killed. And then, right, they couldn't capture those brothers immediately. So everything was closed. And then they located him after carjacking an individual who escaped and told him, right, they were tracking his phone, as I remember, in the car, the victim's phone. And that's how they found the car. And then the shootout. And then the oldest brother, Tamerlan, right, he was shot. And then his younger brother ran him over in the street he was trying to get police officers as well who'd captured his brother. And they got out of the way. He ran over his brother. And then, he went into someone's backyard, into the boat, and he stayed there for a number of hours. And then they knew right away, right? The city was on lockdown. If you have someone's bleeding in your boat, you can guess who that probably was. And they surrounded him. I think they actually fired into the boat a couple times as well before they captured him alive.
Just absolute madness. John Summercamp, a retired FBI agent. We appreciate your time and the information today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Amen, Chris.
That is John Summercamp with us here on KMOX. And like we told you earlier, we will continue to update you when we find out more from Louisville. Again, 5 people killed. One of them is the shooter. There are several people in the hospital, 8 in fact. Some of them critical. One of those critical is a police officer who was in surgery this morning. We do know that 2 police officers total were injured in the shooting in Louisville today at the bank. So whenever there are updates, we will get those to you, national updates, or if there are more press conferences, we'll get those to you as well. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji, did you see this next on KMOX?
Carol Daniel for the Beam Central Vacuum System, giving you convenience, power, and clean air in your home. I know all this time we have spent at home the last couple of years left us looking at our homes a bit differently. Maybe you got work done, bought new furniture, but did you clear the air? You can with the Beam built-in vacuum system. So easy to use. The power unit is built in, so no more lugging of a heavy unit from room to room. You just plug the hose into the wall and go. The Beam is more powerful than an ordinary vacuum, and more power means it sucks more dirt out of your house or condo. And if you have dust-related allergies, you do need a Beam. Research shows use of a central vacuum system improves indoor air quality by over 50%. We're spending more time at home. Maybe you're even working remotely. Clear the air with the easy to install and easy to use Beam Central Vacuum System. Beam Central Vacuum System owners in the St. Louis region call it Beam Clean because no other vacuum can do what a Beam does. And you can learn more and get your Beam installed at beamstl.com. That's beamstl.com.
Beam's home sale is starting early. Every system for every size home now on sale.
Depot. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji here.
Join us Tuesday, April 18th at the Center of Creative Arts as KMOX presents a conversation with CBS Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett.
Major will be there to sign his new book, The Big Truth.
You can pre-purchase your copy at Left Bank Books or the night of the event.
A conversation with CBS Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett, Tuesday, April 18th. The event is free. You do need to reserve your spot, though. For more information and reservations, KMOX.com/events.
Some people don't do well under pressure. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we do it best. Whether you're spraying down the shop or getting the winter grime off your house, a Northern Tool pressure washer says you're serious about spring cleaning. From an all-electric power horse to a Honda-powered North Star, we'll help you build your perfect cold or hot water package with all the chemicals, attachments, and everything you need for the job ahead. Northern Tool and Equipment. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Spring has sprung, and we're ready for you at St. Louis Composting. This year, skip the garden center mayhem and conveniently order your compost, garden soil, or mulch for delivery straight to your home. Online at stocompost.com. That's stocompost.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com.
This is the show. The show continues on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Hey, Chris, did you see this? I'm just going to read the headline for you. Naked man driving stolen school bus with dead deer inside leads police on a chase.
You know something? I saw that a few days ago, and I meant to tell you about it. And then I guess other crazy stuff happened in the meantime. That seems like a normal Saturday, though.
Yeah, officials say the officers on patrol spotted the stolen bus driving through a Giant Foods and Rite Aid parking lot.
Where'd the deer come from?
Well, apparently he didn't say where he got it from, but the naked driver who stole the school bus and put the deer in the bus said he was attempting to drive it home because he wanted to use it as fertilizer for his garden.
Oh, well, couldn't he just get fertilizer?
Well,
okay. So wait a minute. Was it a regular size school bus or one of the little ones?
Oh, it was a full-size
school bus.
They said he was arrested naked And the guy
Okay.
later admitted to taking the bus earlier Tuesday morning after crashing a BMW.
Pretty big deer, I guess. You need all that room.
I guess so.
I don't know if you saw this or not, but this morning on the Today Show, you ever seen the Today Show?
I've heard of it.
I used to watch Willard Scott,
Mm-hmm.
and then it became Al Roker.
Yep.
And Al Roker's, the I guess he's still the weather guy. I haven't seen the show, and I couldn't tell you. But Joe Biden and the First Lady were on it today, and Biden said, quote, "I'm planning on running, Al, but we're not prepared to announce it yet."
Oh.
So, isn't
Well,
that an announcement?
You would think so. Because if you did that for anything else, like we're having a surprise party, a surprise birthday party, but we don't want to tell anybody yet.
Yeah. Or I think it's more like we're having a girl, but we're not going to tell anybody
Oh,
until the
that's better.
reveal.
Yeah. That was kind of like a campaign reveal.
I mean, it's. I get what he's probably saying. We're not making an official
not-
announcement or whatever,
I know.
but
I'm not
but-
trying to be snarky here, but I bet someone said, Joe, you're going to run again, but we're not telling anybody yet. And then that's what he said.
Okay, well, I don't think it's like that, but it's a funny
He's
joke.
like, I'm running, but I'm not supposed to tell anybody yet.
It's a funny joke, Amy.
know.
You're real funny. What's next? Oh, yeah. It's summertime almost, and there's a lot of great stuff to do in Illinois. You ever heard of that Great River Road?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got more on that. It's coming up next. We'll talk to Corey Job in just a moment on KMOX.
In 2023, Major League Baseball is getting some fan-powered updates. You spoke, MLB listened. And this season, you'll be getting a faster pace of play with the pitch timer, more balls in play from shift restrictions, and more action on the base paths from some of your favorite athletes due to bigger bases. Tried and tested in the minors, these new rules are bringing extra excitement to the game you love. Unbelievable! Learn more at MLB.com/rules.
Caring for residents for over a century, Manor Grove is committed to making everyone feel at home. Choosing a home for your loved one to reside is an important decision and shouldn't be taken lightly. Manor Grove makes your decision easy with medical professionals and staff who care for residents like family. If you are looking for a caring and quality nursing home and rehab facility, please visit our website, manorgrove.com, and take our virtual tour. Manor Grove, over a century of caring. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
15 years ago, we were adding on to our home. And so I convinced Sean we should update the kitchen.
We did some research and we decided to go with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Their reputation was phenomenal. To design, do the construction and the finish work, what we wanted was what we got from start to finish. So fast forward 15 years, our family's changed. We've gotten bigger.
There just wasn't the space in the kitchen anymore. People were banging into each other.
We decided 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Here's the problem. What are our solutions? Comparing working with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath 15 years ago, today, their ability to design what you want was the same.
Everything has been what I want.
The quality of 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, I think, is phenomenal. The countertops and the cabinets that they use are great. They were just good guys doing good work.
For more about your new kitchen or bath, visit 3daykitchen.com.
3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, KMOX listeners, Roger Wigginton here, Don Rogers Limited, 6727 West Main in Belleville. We're heading into that time of year where there's going to be a lot of special events going on. Graduations, weddings, maybe a vacation or a cruise, anniversaries. And we have a huge selection of ladies' dresses. Sleeveless, short sleeve, long sleeve, tons of color. Everything has a UPF fabric that protects. And to go back with our black and navy travel fabric, we have great selection of beautiful dressy jackets that you can really dress up or dress down in any outfit. And our men's department, great selection of suits and sport coats, all the accessories to go with it, belts, talia socks, silk ties, everything that a guy needs to pull it together. So if you need something for some type of a special event or a special occasion, come to Don Rogers first. Don't forget, we're located at 6727 West Main in Belleville. Don Rogers Limited. We're open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 4. Park at the door, walk in and get waited on. Thank you so much for listening to our commercial.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 65 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. Our top story this hour, a deadly shooting at a bank in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. At least 4 victims confirmed deceased inside the bank, 8 others injured and taken to local hospitals. Here's Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear.
I want people to know that while today is a horrific act, I do believe that this is a safe community with officers doing their very best each and every day, and that's what we saw here. And I want to thank them and all our other law enforcement officers for responding and doing their best to try to save some of my friends and many others.
Police say the shooter also found dead at the scene, unknown how that shooter died. Nashville officials poised to vote to reinstate one of the 2 Black Democratic lawmakers expelled by Republican colleagues over their gun control protest on the House floor after a deadly school shooting. A Metro Council vote Monday would send Representative Justin Jones back after essentially a long weekend. Expelled Memphis Representative Justin Pearson, meanwhile, could be reappointed at a Wednesday meeting of the Shelby County Commission. More violence in Israel and the West Bank today. The mother of 2 young women killed in a shooting attack has died of her wounds, and a 15-year-old Palestinian teenager was killed in a clash with Israeli soldiers in the West Bank.
Palestinian health officials said that 15-year-old Mohammed Fayez Bilhan was killed in the Akbat Jabbar refugee camp near Jericho when Israeli soldiers entered the camp to search for a man they said was involved in an attack on Israelis. Meanwhile, Lucy D., the British-Israeli mother of 2 sisters aged 16 and 20 who were killed in a shooting attack in the West Bank on Friday, has died. At the sisters' funeral, attended by thousands of people, their father, Rabbi Leo D., spoke.
Today, the Jewish people have proven that we are one. We are united. Am Echad.
Israeli officials continue to hunt for the attacker. Linda Gradstein, CBS News, Jerusalem.
The largest transportation coalition in the state of Missouri lobbying the legislature to return funding to the proposed budget that would expand Interstate 70 to 6 lanes across the state.
I-70 is the busiest interstate in Missouri. It carries 1/3 of all daily interstate traffic in Missouri from state line to state line. It carries about 60,000 passenger cars a day and over 15,000 commercial trucks per day.
That's Morgan Mundell with Missourians for Transportation Investment on Total Information AM. He says there are people in the legislature who want to do it now and be done with it. Today, BJC announced it is expanding its No Questions Asked Gun Lock pilot program at St. Louis Children's Hospital to more than 20 more locations. The free locks are at kiosks at all emergency departments and at facilities and extensions around the region. You can also get them by request through the Children's Hospital website. From the KMOX Business Desk, a new Bankrate survey suggests that 7 in 10 parents with children 18 or older have made a financial sacrifice to help them. Households earning under $50,000 annually were reportedly more likely to do so, with more than half saying they dipped into their emergency savings. Gary Carbonaro is Senior Vice President with Advisors Capital Management and tells CBS News Radio.
Student loans have been on abatement, and they may be until this summer or maybe even extended beyond. So the fact that, students have not even been paying their student loans, things are only, I think, going to get worse once they actually turn those back on again.
The Dow from Stifel this hour is down 34 points to 33,450. The S&P 500 down 23 points at 4,081. And checking the roads, just a couple of construction notes. There are some moving work crews out on the roads this morning. 64 southbound at Interstate 70. The left-hand lane is closed. Also, watch for those crews on 370 eastbound at the Interbelt. The left-hand lane is closed. The weather sponsored by Mers Goodwill. Sun mixing with clouds. A nice afternoon today, a high around 75. Clear tonight, an overnight low of 52. And tomorrow, mostly sunny, nice and warm, a high of 78 degrees. Right now, we have sunny skies, 67 degrees in Florissant. It's 66 in St. Peter's and 65 degrees downtown at the Arch. Donate your vehicle today to Mers Goodwill and get 4 field box tickets to a 2023 Cardinals game. It's easy. Towing is free. Donate online at mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Cardinals. Give hope, give local, give goodwill. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info at cardinals.com.
Any updates or press conferences from the shooting in Louisville today? 5 people dead. That does include the shooter, multiple people in the hospital. We will get those to you here on KMOX, so stick with us. Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji are with you. The weather is nice. It has been nice for several days now. It looks like it's going to be nice for the rest of the week, right? I don't think we get any storms or anything.
Well,
but
I mean, just don't throw it out there.
it's springtime. So what that means is it's time to explore the St. Louis area. And I don't think a lot of people explore the east side of this metropolitan area nearly enough. To join us now is the president and CEO of Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau. Corey Jobe is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So I grew up in Granite City. So that meant that I spent a lot of time going up the River Road. And when I was a kid, I insisted that we go by the Piasaw bird just because it's amazing. It was made by Native Americans a long time ago, carved into the side of this bluff. And I don't think people in the area, I mean, there's so many beautiful parts of this metropolitan area. I don't think people in Missouri appreciate enough what the Great River Road has to offer.
Well, it's not only is it a National Scenic Byway, we actually have 2 right here. The Great River Road is a National Scenic Byway, and then the 33-mile stretch from right around Granite City or Hartford north to Pere Marquette State Park is another National Scenic Byway, and that's called the Meeting of the Great Rivers National Scenic Byway because of the confluence of the Mississippi, Illinois, and Missouri. And we welcome visitors from all over the world, actually. And, the Piasaw bird at Piasaw Park and the history of the Piasaw bird, oh, my goodness, dates back to the 1600s. And it's always an iconic stop when you're traveling the River Road from Alton up to Grafton. And, there's so many things to do. And, we're known for our outdoor adventure, our nature-based tourism. And during the pandemic, people really started to discover and visit because they could space out. Pere Marquette State Park is the largest state park in Illinois with its hiking and horseback riding trails. And it's just a really neat place to enjoy all 4 seasons. We have this great weather now, but the fall is a magnificent time to drive the River Road with the fall foliage. And it's really unique.
And the Piasaw Park recently, I believe, could get up to $6.5 million for renovations and upgrades, including a whole new visitor center parking area so that it can accommodate more people, provide more information, and allow people to set up from that point.
Yes. So we were awarded back in July from the state of Illinois, from the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and Governor J.B. Pritzker, a $10 million capital bill grant to help improve and add to visitor amenities along the Meeting of the Great Rivers National Scenic Byway. And last week we announced plans to improve visitor amenities at Piasaw Park with new hardscape, new landscape, new places for visitors to relax and either prepare their way on the Sam Badalabine Bike Trail or find more visitor information. And we're going to build a new 4,500 square foot Byway Discovery Center, which will have visitor amenities, new museum, new gift shop, and meeting rooms because we host a lot of tours, a lot of motor coach, hop on, hop off tours. And so that is just one piece of many new projects that we'll announce over the summer, and with hopes to begin construction early next year and then open to the public in 2025.
Yeah, I never have. I've only driven by that area. I've never been out of the car. And so what you're proposing, and I know you had a couple of weeks ago, there was a I guess a public meeting to kind of let people in the area know what was about to happen. How did that go?
It went very well. Overall, the public is very excited because over the past several years, there's not been a lot of attention made to the park. No public restrooms, very few visitor amenities. And over the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of vandalism. And so, we're going to bring much new needed life to the area. We know that people who ride bikes and visit, when you drive by there over the summer and fall, there's cars parked with license plates from Missouri and Indiana and all locations. So we want to make sure that we're giving our visitors something that they're craving for, and that's a place to relax, maybe to get a soft drink or a power drink, and be able to learn more about the byway, because there is so much history within the 33-mile stretch, so much history here in Alton. And, we're grateful for the governor's office here in the state, who has realized that this is a regional destination, and we're trying to improve not only the visitor amenities, but the quality of life and livability of this region through our byway and our outdoor recreation and nature-based tourism products. So we're pretty excited about it. And so we had a lot of great feedback. We had some suggestions that we're now taking back to our architects and our urban planning design teams, and we'll be addressing those. And we hope to be out for final bid to the public sometime late this summer, and hope to award bids late this fall. And then, like I said, start construction in early 2024.
And then potentially that visitor center, that whole redevelopment would be done by the summer of 2025. In the meantime, people can still visit Piasaw Park. You expect that to be open at least for a while? Yeah.
Yes, Piasaw Park will be open until we start construction, and we'll give plenty of notice to the public and all sorts of amenities. We still have an Alton Visitor Center that we manage. That's at 200 Piasaw Street, right in downtown Alton on the byway. And we're open Wednesday through Sunday, and you can still get visitor information there and learn all about the great things to see and do in Grafton, at Pere Marquette State Park, and of course here in the city of Alton.
Forgive my ignorance on this, but when you mentioned a moment ago, there's going to be a public bidding, so you'll decide who's going to actually do the construction. Does the public have a say in who does that, or is that just the city makes the ultimate decision?
Well, Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau, we manage the byway, and so we're actually managing the project from start to finish. So we're hearing public input. That meeting that was 2 weeks ago was at the Alton Riverfront Advisory Commission meeting, which advises the mayor and city leaders on things that impact Alton's riverfront. We have taken those into consideration. We're going to continue to have input meetings with the city and elected officials. But then once we're ready, we will handle, Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau will be handling all the bid notices in hopes to finding a general contractor who will be managing this project and others along the byway with the grant funds we've received from the state.
And just, here in Missouri, we have the Great Rivers Greenway, obviously, all of the trail system, Illinois, the Great Rivers and Routes. Are those connected in any way? Is there discussion about the different trails and paths that lead across, from one state to the other?
Oh, absolutely. And, here in Madison County, we have Madison County Transit, who's done a remarkable job, over 135 miles of shared dedicated bike trails on abandoned rail beds all throughout the county. We are recognized. A lot of people from the Midwest travel to Madison County. We work with other organizations, East West Gateway and others, who are obviously working very hard with outdoor trail systems and those outdoor recreation, nature-based tourism products. So there are many organizations on both sides of the river who are working to improve, us as residents, our quality of life, but visitors obviously like those amenities as well. And so we're just one spoke in that wheel that are working, an organization that's working to improve those type of amenities here in our region. And we're a regional destination marketing and management organization. So we represent 6 counties. Madison County is our largest, but we have Madison, Jersey, Calhoun, Greene, Montgomery, and Macoupin County in our certified bureau designation. And so we work all throughout with organizations within those 6 counties to improve the quality of life and visitor amenities and experiences here in the region.
Corey Job, we appreciate your time today. If anybody wants information on anything going on, anything they that they can go visit, can go see, it is riversandroutes.com, correct? Riversandroutes.com.
That is correct. And if your listeners want to learn more about the $10 million grant, there's also a link on our website under Destination Development where they can keep up to date and learn about the project as we go along.
Corey, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That is Corey Job, the president and CEO of Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau. Again, riversandroutes.com if you want any information on all that stuff. That was a thing. I don't know. Have you ever done it? Have you gone up the river road, Amy?
Do you know, I haven't, and there is a famous run, a 10-mile race. I think it's called the Great River Run. It's a 10-mile race in Alton, and I think it's one of the more famous races in the area. A lot of fun. It's flat. It's fast. I've been to Pierre Marquette.
Yeah.
Is that the Great River Road?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have been to Pierre Marquette, but it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, we did that in, oh gosh, was it high school? I think we had, field trips up there.
Mhm.
There's just a lot of really cool stuff that I think, if you live on the Illinois side, you know about all of it. You've been up there, you've driven up that road, and I've driven up that road dozens of times. It's just I don't think it's certainly a gem, and there are people who come from all over, but my guess is a lot of folks who live in Missouri just kind of stay to the Missouri parts because there are some really beautiful parts of
Yeah.
Missouri too, just outside this area.
Yeah, but it is really nice. And I know my friends looking for something to do with their kiddos on the weekend, especially as the weather gets warmer. And we've gone to the different Missouri state parks. But again, like I said, up in Alton, Pierre Marquette, beautiful hiking, picnicking, whatever it is you want to do. I don't think I've utilized it enough.
I haven't.
Hmm.
You haven't. I haven't in a while.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for you.
You were in Belleville.
That's right. I was in Belleville over the weekend for some reason.
You said you had friends who wanted to go to Belleville.
Yeah, for some reason.
Is that it? You're going to be
That's it.
super sketch about it?
What do you mean? What do you want me to tell you? I was in Belleville.
No one just says, oh, yeah, well, let's just go to Belleville without a specific reason.
One of them is from there. She's, I don't know, grew up in that area and so loves going to the Belleville spots
Mhm.
and has been saying for a very long time, we got to go out in Belleville. It's fun. And so we did.
Yeah, very nice. I went
Had
to
a nice
Kansas
time.
City.
We went to this one place. Can't remember the name of it, but we walked into the bar and there was a list on the right behind where the bartender stands. There was a list and it said banned, BANNED. So
Uh-huh.
people who are banned from the bar, which I love. I love the idea of a list of people who you put your name on it
Yeah.
and you can never come back in. And like the first 4 entries were biker gangs.
Like the name of the gang?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's this bar near Belleville where like 4 or 5 biker gangs are no longer allowed.
Were there any individual
Yeah,
names?
yeah.
Do you remember the first name of anybody?
I think there was a Daniel.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Have you ever been kicked out of a bar?
No. Come on. I'm not an idiot.
Well, but your friends
Well, yeah.
are.
But so if
Guilt
I'm.
by association.
Yeah, but my friends don't really start fights. I've never
Okay.
really hung out with people like that.
Yeah.
But if I have ever been in a situation where a friend of mine gets kicked out of a bar, we just look at him and say, see ya.
Yeah.
You're the one who ruined it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
We're not leaving with you.
Has it ever gotten close? You're a big guy. And my friends always say,
No.
if you're the big guy, people try to pick a fight with you.
Too likable.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Nobody wants to fight me. I'm too likable.
I can see that.
Amy, I'm a great time. So that's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. You are listening to KMOX. Matt Pauley is the host of Sports Open Line. We'll talk some Cardinals with him at the bottom of the hour. We have more coming up with you. We will be talking to Dan Reardon as well about the Masters, which just came to an end over the weekend. And there was a near fatal accident there on the golf course. Sure looked like it. Yeah, we'll talk about that too with him when we come back. But let's get an update from Louisville, CBS News. We're going to take you there and find out the latest on what happened today.
CBS News special report. Deadly shooting in a Louisville bank. 4 people plus the shooter confirmed dead. 8 hospitalized, including 2 police officers. Police arrived 3 minutes after the first 911 call.
It is clear from the officer's response that they absolutely saved people's lives.
Deputy Police Chief Paul Humphrey.
This is a tragic event, but it was the heroic response of officers that made sure that no more people were more seriously injured than what happened.
Those thanks echoed by an emotional Kentucky governor, Andy Beshear, who revealed he had friends among the dead. WLKY's Madeline Carter is at the scene.
You can actually see the bullet holes in the building. 5 people were killed, including the suspect. We're not sure if they were shot by a self-inflicted gunshot wound or if police shot the suspect. We do know that they exchanged gunfire with officers.
The shooter reportedly had a connection to the bank. One of the wounded officers is in critical condition. CBS News special report. I'm Vicki Barker.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, company, team bonding, and fun. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 25th at City Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at STLBizDash.com.
Another great one for you, ladies and gentlemen. The new joke, Uncle Sam's short form for taxes. The first line, how much did you make? The next line, send it all in.
You know, that's really not that funny, but it's what a lot of people do in retirement. They take money out of their 401k or IRA and end up sending it in when they pay the taxes. Steve Hall of the All Financial Group believes there's a better plan for your retirement than Uncle Sam's plan. In fact, he invites you to attend an exclusive educational event focusing on taxes in retirement. What if the savings you realized would allow you to retire early? Wouldn't you want to know about all that now? Join Steve and the team for this upcoming event on April 25th or April 27th. This event is complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, BWA, a registered investment advisor. BWA and All Financial Group, LLC are independent of each other. Insurance and annuity products are offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Do you hate standing on concrete floors because of foot, knee, or low back pain?
I couldn't stand on hard surfaces. The pain would get so severe that I couldn't stand it.
Tired of living in pain?
I wanted to take off my shoes as soon as I got home every day.
You need comfort in your life.
Now I have no foot pain and I can wear any dress shoe that I want.
Good Feet fits in all your shoes. Ladies, you can now be comfortable in your favorite high heels. Good Feet. No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Dearborn's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store.
All the news and all that matters to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I'm going to tell you this right now, Amy Marks Kors.
Yep.
I am not going to say anything about what happened in Succession last night.
Okay.
It is in its final season, so I don't do spoilers or anything like that, other than to tell you it was, you're going to hear people, and read people say
Mhm.
that was one of the great episodes of television ever. And I'm not sure it's hyperbole to say that. It was extremely good. And I know that I hesitate to do that because people, you get disappointed when you hear something like that.
Mhm.
You know, you hear this is the best thing that's ever happened, and then you try it and it's just fine. I don't think that you will feel that way if you see it. Anyway, really great episode. But in watching it, and I like to sometimes sporting events, for example, I like to follow along on Twitter during a sporting event. I like to see what other people are thinking, and because I'll have a thought about something, and then I wonder if I'm alone in that thought or if there are other people having similar thoughts to me. So after watching that episode last night, it occurred to me, and I know that I'm sure it's occurred to me before, but it really occurred to me last night. It is so easy, easier than ever, to record your favorite shows. Just you click a button, it's easy.
Yeah.
It is also harder than hell, harder than it's ever been to avoid spoilers.
Mhm.
It is so difficult. You have to completely get away from any social media whatsoever. You probably shouldn't even be online because you'll have stuff like what the LA Times did. And I'm not going to tell you what they did because it is a massive spoiler. But they did a fake, they were trying to be fun, I guess. They did a fake headline that read like a real LA Times story about the event that occurred in the show last night. They had the headline, then they had the first graph. After the first graph, it said, oh, by the way, these are huge spoilers coming up here. But you've already done it.
Yeah. And then
You've already done it.
yeah, it's too late at that point. Also, it feels a little insular on the part of the LA Times to think that so many people, and there are a lot of people watching Succession, but it's not like the old days when literally at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night, there were 2 shows to choose from.
Right.
Things are split up these days.
Yeah.
Is that really worth printing?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you spoiled it. It's like saying, hey, this thing happened. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert.
The juice isn't worth
You've
the
already
squeeze.
done it, man.
Yeah.
Come on, Times. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji. Matt Pauley loves to ruin shows. He's next on KMOX.
I'm Megan Lynch. All next week, an investigation into student privacy every parent needs to hear.
Students should be able to learn and make mistakes.
Your child's school may be tracking every keystroke of their electronic lives.
We are a tool that helps to save lives and prevent danger to children.
Is it keeping them safe or putting them at greater risk?
Profiting off of fear.
We ask those questions next week on KMOX.
RENNER, forward and back. Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Excited to share with you about Renner Garage Door. Spells the same thing, forward and backward. RENNER. Formerly the St. Louis Door Company, Renner's been selling, servicing, and installing garage doors in St. Louis since 1966. So if you need to repair or replace your garage door or opener, Renner does that. So call Renner or check out their special deals at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, the garage door company that does. Giddy up!
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
When choosing a skilled nursing memory care community, choose Park Provence. Considered by U.S. News and World Reports as a best memory care community for nearly 20 years, they've been the experts at treating dementia and Alzheimer's disease. If you're faced with making a difficult decision for your loved one, talk to the leaders at memory care at Park Provence. Learn more by calling 314-542-5200 or visit parkprovence.com. That's PARC Provence.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $2,500 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $2,500 towards a new garage door and opener of their choice. You can't win if you don't play. Deadline to enter is April 30th. Enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Good luck. Maybe we'll see you at our next installation.
At 11:30, we have sunny skies, 65 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. In the news, a deadly shooting at a bank in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. 4 people killed, 8 others hospitalized. Officers who arrived on the scene exchanged gunfire with the shooter. The suspect died, but it's still not clear how he died. Kathy Geider is a former FBI special agent. She told CBS News how the suspect will be investigated.
They're going to look at private life, his home life, neighbors, his whole circle around him. And that would include his work life. And so they're going to look, at bank records, talk to bank management, people of that nature, who have dealt with him in the past as an employee.
Police say the shooter was a former employee of the bank. China's military has declared it's ready to fight after completing 3 days of large-scale combat exercises around Taiwan that simulated sealing off the island. It's in response to the Taiwanese president's trip to the United States last week. People working from home became younger, more diverse, better educated, and more likely to move during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's according to the latest report from the U.S. Census Bureau. The report says that in many respects, the demographic makeup of people working from home from 2019 to 21 became more like workers who were commuting. The industry groups that saw the greatest jumps in people working from home were information, finance, professional, and administrative services. Looking at the roads right now, we do have a 2-car crash eastbound on 255. It's just past Telegraph Road. Watch out there. The left lane is closed. There's also construction in that area. The weather sponsored by Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Sunny with clouds today. It'll be nice this afternoon. Expect a high around 75. Right now, sunny skies, 65 degrees downtown at the Arch. Times are always changing. Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 176-year young mutual company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Countdown to Earth Day. Just 12 days to go. Water treatment plants can get overloaded by excess water. Simply using less water helps keep oceans and rivers cleaner. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin. Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Zero Res. As you know, we are the best in the city at cleaning carpets, area rugs, upholstery. We are also great at cleaning your air ducts. It's National Pet Month. I am the owner of pets. I love dogs. I love cats. I love my old guinea pig. But they bring along some nastiness, right? We all do. It's not just the pets. But they bring along pet dander and hair and dead skin cells. And every now and then they don't make it outside to go to the bathroom or into the kitty litter. So you need to clean those carpets. Keep it nice and fresh for you, for the family, for the pets themselves. The average family home takes on 40 pounds of dust in a year. That's crazy. So in addition to the pets, you have all that stuff going on. Get your air ducts cleaned by Zero Res. $129 for 3 rooms of carpeting. $75 off your air ducts. 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com. Make sure you mention the DGS special.
Has anyone seen Roger? Where's Roger? It's time to open the jewelry store.
Where is everyone?
Did they all take the day off?
At traditional jewelry stores everywhere, employees are quiet quitting and going to Diamonds Direct. Not just to work, but to shop. That's because even with employee discounts, Diamonds Direct offers all shoppers better selection and much better value. As a true direct importer of diamonds, Diamonds Direct has long-standing relationships deep in the world diamond industry, as well as the best diamond cutters across the globe, so they can say the quiet part out loud without the middleman markups. Diamonds Direct offers customers bigger, higher quality diamonds at a lower cost every day. Not to mention the best selection, the best customer service, best warranties, and best overall experience.
Hello.
Quiet quit paying too much for your diamonds. Go to Diamonds Direct. You won't be alone in how happy you are. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details, directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. I'm Cardinals outfielder Lars Nootbaar. I'm Woodson Contreras. I'm Paul DeYoung.
Now, Chris and Amy give you the birds.
I'm Jordan Hicks, and you're listening to the show on KMOX.
It is Amy and Chris giving you the birds today. We are joined by one of our favorite people on earth. He is Matt Pauley. He is the host of Sports Open Line, which you can hear tonight at 6 o'clock. Also, Cardinals pre- and post-game coverage. Matt Pauley,
I'm going to pick a fight,
joins us now on KMOX. What's going on, Matthew?
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing great. Cardinals, not so much. Not so much. They have lost 5 of their last 6 games after getting off to a decent start in the first few. What's going on, man?
It's early on in the season. Like, I'm never going to be that guy who's jumping off a cliff about anything that's going on when it's still April.
Finally, he's not going to overreact. Finally, Matt Pauley's not going to overreact to something.
I mean, look, if we go back like a year when I first started doing this with you guys, wasn't I the Ecclesiastes of sports talk host? Like, nothing matters.
Yeah.
Like, none of this doesn't matter.
Meaningless. Everything is
Yes.
meaningless. Yeah.
Yes.
The Ecclesiastes of sportscasters.
This guy. Yeah.
It's a slow start, and it is what it is, and maybe some of these things are meaningful. Maybe in a month from now, month and a half from now, we're going to look back to the first week of the season and people are like, I told you so. There's red flags. You see all that stuff that happened. But in all likelihood, because this is a really, really good baseball team, everything's just going to kind of work itself out relatively soon.
Well, something that's not meaningless and that Ranji is super excited to tell me after every game.
Yep.
These games, Matt,
Man,
they're flying by.
cruising.
So other than opening day, Ranj, correct me if I'm wrong, the Cardinals have not had a game last longer than 3 hours.
That is correct.
Other than opening day.
It's very possible opening day is their longest 9-inning game of the year. It's very possible.
I threw that out after that. The night that game was played, I put out a Twitter poll saying, is this going to be the longest 9-inning regular season game the Cardinals play this year? And I think it will. That was 338. Since then, they've gone 231, 229, 246, 220, 227, 245, 232. And yesterday, a 2 hour and 49-minute game.
So let me say this about it. I know that you probably got a lot of baseball people saying, all right, forget it, move on already. Who cares? We don't, who cares how long the game is? I think this is a very big deal because I had a conversation, and I know this is just an anecdote, but I don't think it's too far off how a lot of casual baseball fans feel. And he said, we were texting about game times, and he said, I finally like watching baseball again. And I don't know if he's just saying that, but I get the sense that he's probably not. And I feel like there are probably a lot of people who agree with that one of the things that kept them from watching the sport to begin with was it was too boring, it was too slow, and nothing happened. And that really appears to be changing in a big way, which is huge for the sport.
So the MLB.t this number I'm about to give you is like 6 days old, but so it's not relevant to right now, but it tells a story. The MLB.tv viewing hours up 42% from last year as of 4 days ago. So people are watching longer. The games are shorter and people are watching longer.
That makes
That's
sense.
really impressive.
It makes sense because I think if the game goes too long and it's too boring and nothing happens, you check out because it's boring you. But if there's constant action and the pace is good, you're going to stick around longer.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Like I think I've said this to you guys before, but I'll repeat again. I don't understand the people who don't like it because the people who don't like it tend to be older people. And what's happening is there's just rules that are enforcing the game to be played the way it was played when they fell in love with baseball. So I cannot wrap my hands around the people who hate the pitch clock for the most part. And unless there are people out, you know what? You want to go to the ballpark, you want to spend 4 hours there, you want to make sure you have as much time as possible to buy beer, like whatever. But for the vast majority of people, I feel like the ones who are upset about the pitch clock, if you really take a step back, you can find a major flaw in their argument.
Ranj, would you like to share it with the class? Matt, he's losing his mind. He's losing his mind right now, laughing.
Matt said, I can't wrap my hands around this. And my first thought was, you mean like you'd wrap your hands around the neck of a Walmart employee if they didn't do something?
Oh, stop it.
My gosh. He's cracking himself up.
I'm sorry. Matt likes to start fights.
And every time you accuse me of this, I just like to remind the class that I've never been in a fight in my entire life.
No.
Okay, so you're back from Jupiter. Any other exciting incidents we should know about?
Yeah, good question.
No, it's been pretty quiet. Like once baseball season starts, I don't have I go to the ballpark, I come home. I did think it was in it, but you guys taught me something the other day.
Yeah.
I did not know that texting was not illegal while driving in Missouri.
Isn't that astounding?
Yes. How is that not illegal?
There are only 2 states in the entire country. Isn't Montana the other? I think the second one is Montana, but it's a rural state with no cities. But there are only 2 places in the entire country it's okay, but you have to be 21.
Okay.
Because once you turn 21, it's fine.
Because you can legally drink then.
We can't get out of our own way in so many ways, which is frustrating. Like that law, this whole sports gambling, like not just to take over your thing, but I get so frustrated about this sports gambling thing. And I know this is near and dear to your heart, Ranj, because we are literally watching tax dollars leave the state to the east to Illinois, the north to Iowa, the west to Kansas. Like at this point, it doesn't matter if you think sports gambling is a good thing or a bad thing. It's going to happen at some point, and the longer you dilly-dally, you're just watching more and more tax dollars leave all these states that border us. Like there's so many times in this state and in our community where the simple common sense thing is just sitting in front of our face and we don't do anything with it. So when I saw that texting is not illegal in Missouri, I could not believe. And also what really bummed me out is now, because every time I'm driving down the street and I look over and there's somebody almost hits me and they're doing whatever, and I finally get by them and I look at them and I see that they're texting, in the back of my mind I go, man, I hope a cop pulls them over. I hope at some point a police officer sees them. Now I don't even have that anymore because it doesn't matter because they can't get pulled over for it.
That's a great point. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Fortunately, State Senator Jason Bean out of District 25 has proposed a bill to make it illegal, and it's moving forward. So maybe they'll get that done. They might fail on sports gambling, the state Senate, but they will hopefully make this a thing now.
Yeah, the Senate is.
Well, you guys, it was your social media video that taught me that. So, thank you.
You're welcome, man.
You're welcome.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Could you explain to us why there's been so much difficulty in pitching lately?
Jordan Montgomery was really good
the
other day.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
First Cardinals quality start of the year. Going into Saturday, there were 5 teams in baseball that did not have a quality start, and the Cardinals were one of them.
Wow.
And then Montgomery just absolutely shoved, going the 7 innings without giving up a run. It's kind of, I was going to use the word funny. It's not funny. It's notable, for lack of a better term. This offseason, people were worried about starting pitching, and now it's starting pitching that's struggling at the beginning of the year. So everybody's doing this I told you so thing. These starters are fine, especially we don't really know what to expect from Jake Woodford. He wasn't especially good yesterday. He was better yesterday than he was in his first start. But the other 4 guys, and then eventually Adam Wainwright, but especially the other 4 guys that are healthy and in the rotation right now, they're all going to be fine. They're all going to be starting pitchers that can more than lead you to a division championship this year. They're going to go out. Kevin Wheeler and I were talking about this the other day. He's like, yeah, they're all going to have an ERA between 3.8 and 4.2 at the end of the season. Yeah, that's exactly who they are. They're going to give you a chance to win every day. I don't know why all of them are struggling so much in the early going. While why the starting pitching ERA was 7+ before the weekend and before that Montgomery start. But at the same time, going back to what I was saying to you guys earlier, I'm not worried about it. They're all going to be fine. They're all good starting pitchers, and they're all perfectly capable of helping lead this team to a division championship.
What about on the other side, on hitting? The Cardinals have left 30 runners on base in the last 3 days and 5 for 24 with runners in scoring position. That seems like it leaves some things to be desired.
It does in a big way. And I think one of those things, because there are times, I covered the Brewers for years, and for whatever reason, they were a team that just left a ton of guys on base, and their batting average always just stunk with runners on in scoring position. And when it's the first month of the season, it feels like an anomaly, but then all of a sudden that goes throughout the course of the year. And like, why is this? And I've never been able to figure that out. I've never understood why there are teams that all of a sudden you get into these big moments, you get an opportunity to score runs, and they become a very different offensive kind of team. Now, you can say teams that strike out more are going to have less of a chance to score runs because you can't have the RBI ground out, you can't have the sacrifice fly. Cardinals are not a team that's going to strike out a ton, so that doesn't apply to them. This is one of those things where, again, let's look at the number in a month or so. But I do think it is worth noting. That's every day when the game gets over and I'm ready to do the post-game show, I grab the box score and I read through every number, because there's some things that you just don't notice as the game is going on through the 9 innings. And sometimes you don't notice that they really struggle with runners in scoring position. And all of a sudden you're looking at a 1 for 8 or a 2 for 11 or whatever it might be. And a ton of guys are left on base, and like, okay, that's the story of the game right there. That's the reason they lost. We can sit here and talk about starting pitching. We can talk about all these things, but so often when you lose a baseball game, the reason you lost that baseball game is because of the results with runners in scoring position. And there have been a handful of games already this year for the Cardinals where that would absolutely apply to them. And it's something they got to get. They're a good offensive club. The DNA of this club cannot turn into one where they, for whatever reason, struggle with runners in scoring positions.
Well, I guess the good news of the season, other than Goldschmidt and Arenado, what you expect from them, the fact they're getting what they are from the young players is really encouraging. Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman and Alec Burleson has been really good. They've gotten quite a bit from their young players.
They have, and those are all guys who have the ability to be impact players in the big leagues. Gorman was kind of the guy that I was talking about a lot coming out of spring training. If somebody wanted to ask me who I kind of thought was going to be that maybe unexpected player to take a big step forward, I thought it was going to be Gorman. So far, I'm right on that, but again, we apply the same small sample size standard to that. Burleson's gotten an opportunity, especially because of the Lars Nootbaar injury. All he's done is go out and hit, but that's all he's done in his entire life. You look at his minor league numbers, he's always been an elite hitter. But then Jordan Walker's the one. I mean, for him to He has now tied the Cardinals' all-time record for hits to begin a career as a rookie, as a minor leaguer in the as a guy making their major league debut in the organization. He's hitting .353. He's got the 2 home runs. He's got an OPS that's almost 1,000 at this point. At some point, he's going to hit a wall. At some point, there's going to be some adversity. Every single Major League Baseball player deals with that. But to see the way Oliver Marmol said it after yesterday's game, he talked about the fact that it's not that just Walker's getting a hit every game. It's the fact that he doesn't give away at bats. I talk a lot about Nolan Arenado being a guy that is great for parents and for little league coaches to take their kids and watch the way he goes about things. Well, I think we can kind of apply the same standard to the way Jordan Walker handles his at-bats. Look at what he does in his at-bats. He doesn't give anything away. Every swing has purpose. And when he does get beat, when he does strike out, go look at that next at-bat, especially if it's against the same pitcher, because it feels like there is something he learned off the video from his previous at-bat that he's applying to the next one.
Matt Pauley, what's on Sports Open Line tonight?
Yeah, just a 45-minute edition of the program because we do have Cardinals baseball tonight. They're out west, so we'll get a little bit of Sports Open Line in. We'll recap the weekend for the Cardinals. We'll also talk a little Battlehawks. They had a really impressive win on Saturday. And where does City go from here? They've lost a couple in a row. They gotta get back going. So we'll hit the trifecta of St. Louis sports in terms of ones that are mid-season, and it's going into the final season or final week for the Blues as well. So we'll see if we get a little bit in there, but mostly good stories for St. Louis sports right now.
Thanks, Matthew.
You bet.
That's Matt Pauley. He's our sports fella, and he's with us every Monday and Thursday. It's going to stay that way, right? I know we got some things that are going to change up a little bit, but he will be with us every Monday and Thursday as we talk sports.
You like Starbucks coffee.
Man, do I.
So do I. Starbucks coffee has one of their biggest launches ever, and it is certainly launching things.
Yeah, it's launching things, all right. People got the scoots. Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Hey fans, I'm breaking down MLB Play. I think they're the best MLB games. Now my personal favorite, Beat the Streak. Pick who you'll think will get a hit building your own streak. It's all on you, baby. You can win $5.6 million. The streak's alive! Next up, Pickle. Guess the player in the fewest number of tries. Got him! And there's other games like Bingo, a race to be first. Bingo, MLB Play. Great games, great prizes, and it's all free. No purchase necessary. Restrictions apply. See official rules and enter at MLB.com/play. Oh yeah!
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji here.
Join us Tuesday, April 18th at the Center of Creative Arts as KMOX presents a conversation with CBS Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett.
Major will be there to sign his new book, The Big Truth.
You can pre-purchase your copy at Left Bank Books or the night of the event.
A conversation with CBS Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett, Tuesday, April 18th. The event is free. You do need to reserve your spot, though. For more information and reservations, KMOX.com/events.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Yes, with inflation, interest rate increases, and a possible recession looming, we are no doubt facing uncertain times in the housing market. But as a realtor with over 20 years of experience, I can tell you, if you're thinking of selling your home, now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through these times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and we offer all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem and they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Did you know St. Louis leads the nation in rounding up at our local McDonald's restaurants? That small change can make a big difference by supporting the building of a new local Ronald McDonald House. Please learn more at rmhcstl.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We trust companies to do what's right, but when they don't, there's Onder Law, making a difference, one case at a time.
Call Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. That's my friends Mark and Neil Gelman at thegelmanteam.com.
Track your blood donations right from the palm of your hand and stay updated on special promotions. Download the American Red Cross Blood Donor app today. To learn more, go to redcross.org.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this.
The show on KMOX.
Ron, it's a new thing at Starbucks coffee. So what happened is the former CEO, Howard Schultz of Starbucks, he was visiting a friend who's an olive oil producer in Sicily, Italy. And in the Mediterranean, a big part of their daily routine is taking a spoonful of olive oil. It's really good for you. So he said, this may be crazy, but what if we put a spoonful of olive oil in one of our coffee drinks, offered that so people could stay healthy, have their olive oil, their good fats, and their coffee. So they did, and they launched it recently, and it's one of the biggest launches they've ever had. The problem is, CBS is calling it a, quote, potentially fragile combination, caffeine, which is a gut stimulant, and olive oil, which is a, quote, relaxant.
Oh, I know what's happening.
Which means people are drinking it and immediately having to run to the bathroom.
I've also decided, I've noticed, Amy, that it's not always the best thing when a billionaire makes decisions based on a whim they get.
I was visiting my friend in Sicily.
I feel like, let's take the W out of Twitter. Yeah, go read about that. It's
what?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it in a minute. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could do business without busy work? With Ramp, you can. Ramp is the future of finance with smart automation, corporate cards, and spend management. Just imagine, no more expense reports or shuffling wrinkled receipts. No more slogging through invoices or getting surprised by unexpected charges. Just your business's big idea with smart spend controls, automation that crushes busy work, and real-time insights so you can make it happen. In other words, Ramp completely reimagined finance to make it work for your business. Get set up, issue corporate cards, and start making payments in less than 15 minutes. See how Ramp does finance. Join today and get $250 just for signing up. Just go to ramp.com/finance. That's ramp.com/finance to get $250 for signing up. That's ramp.com/finance.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lance.drurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120 That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Recently been noticing for about the last year or two that there's warnings on TV before you watch a movie. It says something, it'll say something like involves violence, smoking, alcohol, language. There was one that was about fear. I have to ask you, what the hell is that crap all about? Kind of leads me into where I know you're all thinking this has nothing to do with heat and air conditioning, but it actually does. Point I'm trying to make, I'm looking for customers that need their furnace or air conditioner fixed, that they don't want to be bamboozled, scammed, or lied to. If you're that way, you are definitely my customer. I will shoot you straight. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or you could do the internet thing. It's bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I, and of course, .com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 12 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 67 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Louisville police say at least 4 people were killed and 8 others hospitalized in a shooting at a bank building in downtown Louisville. Metro Police Deputy Chief Paul Humphrey told the news conference the suspected shooter was also dead after the Monday morning shooting.
The deadly shooting occurred at the downtown Louisville bank where Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear does his banking.
This is awful. I have a very close friend that didn't make it today. And I have another close friend who didn't either. And one who's at the hospital that I hope is going to make it through.
Police believe the shooting suspect was a former bank employee. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Missouri's House of Representatives has passed a plan to boost teacher pay.
The package would increase minimum teacher pay from $25,000 to $35,000 annually. For teachers with a master's degree, the minimum would go from $33,000 to $46,000. Another part of the bill would change the funding calculation for state aid to public schools from the current 5% to 9% over the next 9 years. That extra money would go to salaries. Now the Senate will consider the bill. Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
Want to keep your brain healthy? Well, then you need to chill.
A new study in the journal JAMA Open Network finds people 45 and older with consistently elevated stress levels are 37% more likely to have cognitive problems. Not all stress is bad stress. Scientists say a little here and there can be positive, motivating you to finish a project or hit the brakes to avoid an accident. But now they've documented chronic stress can lead to memory and thinking issues, as well as already known side effects like anxiety, depression, headaches, heart disease, high blood pressure, and sleeping issues. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The Omicron variant has a new version with a smaller genetic profile. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer asked SLU Care general internist at SSM St. Louis University Hospital, Dr. Fred Buchhold, what this could mean.
Just like with everything else, the questions are, does it cause infections? Does it make people sick? Does it make people very sick? How worried should we be about that? I think those are all fairly large unknowns.
But Dr. Buchhold adds the pattern of these variations have proven the virus has caused less serious disease than it has throughout the pandemic. From the KMOX business desk, when Grants Farm opens this weekend, it'll feature something new, a drone show on Friday and Saturday nights called Grants Farm in the Sky, a drone show spectacular. Grants Farm President Doug Stagner says it will be uniquely St. Louis and is like a fireworks show with the drones performing highly choreographed movements to music and creating scenes. The Dow from Stifel this hour is up 52 points to 33,537. The S&P 500 still down about 8 points right now at 4,097. And checking the roads, we do still have that issue, it looks like, on eastbound 255 at Telegraph Road. Last report, the crash still blocking the left-hand lane. Checking the forecast for today, it's going to be beautiful, sunny, mixing with clouds, a high around 75. Clear skies tonight, an overnight low around 52. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm, a high of 78. Right now, we have 71 degrees in Florissant. It's 78 in St. Peters and 67 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info@cardinals.com. Time to rewind the show. This is the show recap.
We have been keeping an eye on what's going on in Louisville. We know that at the moment, 4 victims are dead. The shooter is also dead. It was a bank in Louisville. 8 other people are injured, 2 of them police officers. One of those officers underwent surgery earlier today and is in critical condition. We know that at the old National Bank building where this occurred, the response time was 3 minutes. It was very, very quick. We know that the shooter may have worked there, or it appears they worked there in the past or still do work there. Not exactly sure, and they also, authorities said earlier, they did not know if the shooter killed himself or if police engaged and killed him. And I'm sure these facts will continue to come out. But, we spoke with John Summercamp, who was with the FBI. The FBI, of course, anytime there's a mass shooting, is there on scene.
Right. It's all about the amount of information that you're able to pool in over time. And obviously the FBI spans all 50 states here in America and beyond. Really, we have our offices in foreign countries as well, legal attaches where we get information from. But right, the locals don't have that as well. Right, you're isolated in the city. The city is Louisville or St. Louis or Sacramento, wherever you're at. So it's a lot easier for the Bureau to connect with their own employees and offices to get that information.
Yeah, and so they'll try to figure out exactly why this person did it, what the motivation was, and how they acquired all the weapons and then that sort of thing. So just another tragedy here in America.
Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky, he did speak. He was quite emotional. Said that was the bank that he went to. It was the bank from which he ran his campaign when he was Attorney General in Kentucky. And I believe it was at least one of his friends.
One of his friends killed. One is in critical, I believe.
Critically injured. So we also brought up this story, Ranj, that we've been following just as we look at what Russia is doing in Ukraine and the attack, the invasion that Vladimir Putin has led, committing war crimes in Ukraine and also human rights abuses in Russia. There was a 13-year-old girl who was in school in Russia. She drew a picture that would be considered anti-war. It was a mom and a daughter, like a crayon type picture, a mom and a daughter holding a flag that said "Glory to Ukraine." They were standing in the path of a Russian rocket in this drawing, and she wrote "No to War" underneath. Now, authorities took hold of that picture, have since taken the young girl, moved her to an orphanage, and her father was thrown into a pretrial detention center. He escaped and then has now been thrown back into prison. It really has been garnering international attention because we've talked about in Ukraine, Russia ripping children from their families, committing war crimes. Thousands of children and bringing them back to Russia. And now you have within Russia children being ripped from their parents because of a drawing that the child drew that seemed to be, quote, anti-Russian propaganda. Vladimir Putin is a criminal and an evil dictator who needs to be held accountable. How that happens, I don't know. I don't know how we do it, but hopefully as the international community continues to follow this story of this young girl, Maria, who was only 13 years old, taken from her father's care because of a picture. I guess the only way to have hope for her is to continue to put in a spotlight on her story.
Yeah. And meanwhile, we discussed the Pentagon paper leaks and some of that information that had gotten out last week, and it was posted on social media accounts, first on Discord, found its way to 4chan and Twitter and a bunch of other places. But some of the information that was there was pertaining to our relationship with Ukraine. currently. And one of the things that got out there was the fact that we are spying on Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, which, I think everybody expected. And the Ukrainians have also basically admitted that, yes, they expected the United States was keeping an eye on him too, which I don't think you're doing your due diligence if you're not. But that's not the kind of thing that needs to be out there publicly. It's embarrassing for everybody at minimum. And also, at most, you're putting people in danger. So these leaks, whoever did it, these people need to be found and they need to be punished. And because it is clearly somebody who had access to them, who probably did or does work for the government in some capacity.
And it does, again, the signs point to someone within the United States and who did it deliberately, because some of these documents that were leaked, they're actually pictures of documents. Someone is taking picture of these highly classified documents. Somewhat interesting. I don't know what it means, but we mentioned the classified information regarding the war in Ukraine. We're talking very, very specific information. One document was dated February 23rd. It said on it secret/no foreign, meaning not to be shared with foreign countries. And it just detailed classified Ukrainian war plans as well as an assessment of the Ukrainian slowly, apparently faltering air capabilities. It looked at anticipated weapons deliveries and troop and battalion strength. Interestingly, it did seem to overestimate the Ukrainian dead from the public numbers, underestimate the number of Russian troops who have died. There's a Lieutenant Colonel Yuri Bereza, if I'm saying it correctly. He's in the Ukrainian National Guard. He said right now, specifically in Ukraine and Russia, that the information war is, quote, sometimes more important than physical warfare. He said there's so much misinformation and disinformation out there regarding the war, regarding the invasion, that you can't tell truth from lies. And this only further complicates the picture. And that's just one element, which is the Ukrainian-Russian element. We also have documents that show, the United States was spying on Israel and the Mossad and on South Korea, the Indo-Pacific Military Theater, what our national security efforts are when it comes to counterterrorism, when it comes to Africa. Highly sensitive documents.
Yeah, it's stuff that very obviously does not need to be out there. We've talked about the line between transparency and being smart about what you're doing. And I think there should be a great deal of transparency when it pertains to how the government operates. But covert stuff, we don't need to know all the covert stuff, right? Unless we are committing some kind of human rights violations around the world that should have light shown upon them, we don't need to know this other stuff. And I guess you can make the argument we shouldn't be doing covert stuff at all, but that's not, that doesn't make sense. You have to, if you're a country that has to have national security, and we should. And so you need to do these things.
And again, some of this information shows spying on our allies, obviously. Which again, you have national security. There are things that I'm sure we do to spy to make sure that our country is staying safe, and I'm fine with it. It does complicate issues. One of the documents looks at the Mossad and whether the Mossad in Israel was actually encouraging protests against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his restructuring of the Supreme Court. That complicates things further. So now Israel's responding, saying, no, we didn't do that. South Korea is asking questions.
You have to do this with, look, I would imagine that any powerful nation around the world is spying on its own allies too. I feel like everybody's keeping an eye on everybody else, which is perfectly fine, but this is not the kind of stuff that needs to be out there. And again, people on the ground who are involved in these things are put at risk. Their lives are actually in danger because of this leaker and what they did. We did not get to the draft results from last week. We had a grand draft.
We did.
Amy, and you won.
No.
You won our grand draft. You could have voted on at the show KMOX on Twitter. You won. Your team of grands, because this was in honor of the grand jury and the indictment, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Your team was Grand Canyon, Grand Ole Opry, Grand Piano, Grand Old Flag, Illusions of Grandeur, and 100 Grand Candy Bar.
It's a terrible team.
It's a stupid team.
It's a stupid
team. And you won like 2/3 of the vote. You beat me.
What was your team?
I had Grand Theft Auto, Grand Slam, Grand Duke Konstantin Pavlovich of Russia. That's probably why I lost.
You know what? I just thought of that. I bet it was the Russia thing.
Grandparents, Grand Marshal, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. So those are my grand. You won. Another thing, because we're going to need more help from you, on Thursday, we are having our Sandwich Pascandal runoff.
Yep.
We have our final 4 teams.
Can you just
recap what happened with the Sandwich
Pascandal? Is we had our Sandwich Madness tournament in honor of March Madness. We had 32 sandwich places, primarily known for sandwiches. That was kind of the rule here. And you guys had gave your ideas for sandwich places that should be on our bracket. We made the bracket, and then hands off from us.
Yeah.
We let you guys vote.
I placed a couple of votes.
I think I voted 2 early on.
Yeah. My
2
team did not
early
win.
on.
And that's okay. But some people, not everybody, because a lot of people love Paschetti's, but some people were really upset that Paschetti's won the
We had
tournament.
about a million people.
Here's what we're doing. We are replaying the last 4. So we're having a runoff.
Just like in Georgia.
Just like they did in Georgia. There are 4 candidates. It is Paschetti's, Mom's Deli, LeGrand's, and
Blue City.
Blue City Deli. We have Blue City Deli. Is it Vincent's coming in tomorrow? Is that correct? Yeah, Vince Valenza from Blue City Deli will be in tomorrow, and then Jim LeGrand from LeGrand's will be in on Wednesday, as these places have the opportunity to campaign for themselves if they want.
Yeah,
and
I
so
think
those two have. We are hoping to have Michael from Paschetti's in as well. If he's able to do it, I think he's going to join us. So we'll have our vote on Thursday, and we'll tell you when to do it. We don't have the poll up yet, but we're having our sandwich runoff.
No, it's the Sandwich Pascandal runoff.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Also, go to KMOX.com/events and RSVP for the Major Garrett thing. And we'll tell you more about that coming up as well. But next, Dan Reardon, who is our golf expert. He is our golf reporter, will tell us about the Masters when we come back on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
The real estate market continues making headlines for both buyers and sellers. The big dilemma for sellers like you is finding the right buyer willing to pay the right price, right? This is Debbie Monterey. And while most agents will make big promises, Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty will actually present you with an upfront written guarantee. It states that Gloria will sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she will buy it guaranteed in writing. Does your agent compare to that? Gloria is able to make this bold offer because Gloria already has the buyers in her exclusive Buyers in Waiting program. So before you list your home, do your research and get to know Gloria Liu like I have. Gloria has solutions and options for every seller because she knows that every situation is different. Call her today and ask about Gloria's no obligation cash offer program or her guaranteed sold program. 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
It's always a little scary when there's a power outage, right? Well, avoid that by calling Reinhold Electric to install an inline generator to your home or business or your vacation home. They do it all the time and they work all over the state of Missouri and Southern Illinois. They can get you hooked up with an inline generator to your place so you don't go without power. EV charging stations, it's a hot item and a lot of people are calling Reinhold Electric to get them installed. Call today, 314-631-1158, online, reinholdelectric.com. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric.
Park Provence, an assisted living and skilled nursing memory care community, understands the challenges when caring for a loved one with dementia or other forms of memory loss. You're not alone. Park Provence is a trusted expert in memory care and recently recognized as a best memory care community by U.S. News and World Reports. Call 314-452-5200 or to learn more, parkprovence.com. That's P-A-R-C Provence.com.
R-E-N-N-E-R, forward and back. Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Excited to share with you about Renner Garage Door. Spells the same thing, forward and backward. R-E-N-N-E-R. Formerly the St. Louis Door Company, Renner's been selling, servicing, and installing garage doors in St. Louis since 1966. So if you need to repair or replace your garage door or opener, Renner does that. So call Renner or check out their special deals at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, the garage door company that does. Giddy up!
Step up to the plate by donating your old car to Goodwill and get 4 box seats to a Cardinal game. Your car donation to Goodwill will help people right here in St. Louis. Donating is easy, towing is free, and you get a tax receipt. Plus, you'll get Redbird tickets, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. You can put the car in Cardinal by donating to Goodwill today. Donate online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention promo code Cardinals. Hurry while supplies last.
Work or play? KMOX is right there with you. We go where you go.
Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. Dave Glover show at 1 o'clock. Right now, we go to the guest line. We are joined by Dan Reardon, who is the KMOX golf reporter, visiting with us this afternoon now on KMOX. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing fine. Back in St. Louis after a sometimes wet week at the Masters.
You know, I will admit I didn't get to see a lot of it. What I did see, or the first thing I saw, was the pretty lousy weather, and I saw 2 giant trees fall and somehow not hurt anybody. And that happened early on in the tournament. That's almost a miracle that nobody got hurt then.
Well, but it's not a coincidence. It's the timing worked out perfectly for them because what had happened is they sounded the horn because of weather moving into the area, and people were told to evacuate the golf course. So most of the spectators, or patrons as they're called there, had moved away from that area. Then the play had resumed, so some people were wandering back out. But had there not been that interruption, I'm saying there would have been 20 times as many people in that area as there were when the trees came down. So it's a very fortunate set of circumstances and a most unusual. I've been to a lot of events. I've been to events where people have died, but I've never been to one where trees fell over.
Dan, I believe this was the first event where you had Live Tour athletes and PGA Tour athletes competing. Was that something that primarily made a difference in the headlines, or was there something palpable or tension that you could feel at Augusta?
The way I'll answer that, Amy, is to say this is also the first time I've been in that environment. And what I took away from the environment is because there was no negative conversation taking place. The closest we came was Sergio was being sort of roped into it, and he declined to get involved and criticized the media for that. And there have been some after the event is over. But I see players who basically are friends, and they're on rival tours. And when it gets down to the business, yeah, there may be a lot of animosity. But either somebody put an embargo in place, or these guys just see each other year-round in Florida. And the LIV players and the PGA Tour players, when they're competing, they're different than when they're at home and their neighbors.
I know that early on, some of the numbers from the LIV tournament were not good. There just weren't a lot of people watching for whatever reason. Could we see that that entire thing become more normalized among the masses?
Well, that was the question that Brooks Koepka was asked after his round yesterday. Even though he didn't win the championship, you had Brooks play extremely well. You had Mickelson play extremely well. You had Patrick Reed play extremely well. And the question is, has your tour gotten more legitimacy because of the performance of the three of you? And might we see something more out of LIV? He said, I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe that's the case. He said, I just go out and play golf. I will say I've not been a fan of this from the get-go. I don't think it's going to succeed. And they lost a big lawsuit overseas as far as the European Tour, our DP Tour, is concerned. They can now block these players, or at least block world ranking points for them coming forward. So I think the organizations are still battling each other. I think the individuals are a lot less personal about it. Although my understanding is Patrick Reed was the only one that was doing it. He was wearing the cap from one of his teams at LIV. The rest of them, in fact, Koepka on Friday was trying to be drawn into that conversation because they asked, why was there no logo on his clothes? And he said, I'm wearing Nike. And they kept persisting because they wanted him to say there was no LIV logos on his clothes. And he said, I don't want to go there.
Mm-hmm. What about Tiger Woods, who obviously physically struggled at the Masters? Do you think this is his last tournament? Should it be his last tournament with the PGA?
The thing I don't know, Amy, is I don't know what kind of contractual considerations enter into this consideration. He has a brand out there, and the more that he plays in these events, the better it is for the brand. But I will say, his last three major championships were a withdrawal, a miscut, and a withdrawal. And there's no indication that this is going to turn around. Although Augusta is the most severe place that he can walk, the weather was cold and wet, so everything conspired against them. And then they had a partial round where he was looking at not playing 18 holes, but playing 30 holes. So I don't know that we'll know the answer to that. My hope is that he says, yeah, I'm not going to go to play the PGA Championship. I'm not going to LA to play the US Open. I'm going to see Charlie. We'll play in November on television, and then I'll come back to the Masters. And if I make the cut, I'll walk up 18 for the last time on Sunday. And if I miss the cut, I'll walk up 18 for the last time on Friday. I don't know what the answer to that is. Tiger said in LA, I'm never going to play golf just to be ceremonial. I only will play if I have a chance to win. I don't think he's given any evidence in the time that he's been back that he has a chance to win. Can he make a cut? Yeah. But making a cut is not what Tiger Woods is all about. So if he's true to his word, this will end pretty quickly. If it isn't, we'll see him again.
I know people who follow the sport would probably cringe at this conversation, but if you're a casual golf viewer, Tiger Woods is everything to a lot of people. Is there somebody in your mind that replaces him in terms of having the ability to captivate even casual fans?
Certainly not to the extent that Tiger. I mean, that's the thing about Tiger. Tiger is, if he plays, he's a parade float, and everybody's going to stop and watch the parade go by. Rory McIlroy has positioned himself, and actually Tiger has positioned Rory as sort of he's a business partner now, to be the new face of the tour. And we could say Jordan Spieth might be that, but none of them have that charismatic quality that Tiger has. So to assume that, they're going to have to replace him in numbers. They're going to have to replace him in quantity. They're not going to replace him as an individual. And there's no young player on the horizon who has any of that kind of possibility. You understand that when Tiger came along, he was the Beatles. I mean, that's the easiest way to describe it. There was nobody like that. And he became a figure for everybody, not just golf fans. Well, the Beatles only come along once every half century, and so does Tiger.
Dan Reardon, we appreciate your time. Thank you for visiting with us today.
I enjoyed it. Thanks for the invitation.
That is Dan Reardon, KMOX golf expert, golf reporter with us today. And when Tiger was here for that PGA Championship, was it 2019? I think it was. It's just, he's rock star.
Yeah.
He exactly is the Beatles, or was, and people just wanted to get close to him.
I think 90% of the golf I've watched in my life was Tiger golf. It's when Tiger was on TV. That's when I watched. And when he was not playing in tournaments anymore, It's not the same.
That's me too.
Yeah.
Amy Marks, chorus Chris Ranji, Travis Lingenfelter out of Arizona joins us next about companies buying and betting on water in the future and the implications of it. That's next on KMOX.
It's your thing. What's on Dave Glover's mind?
Used to be, in another part of my life, being a thing was good, unless it was being a bad thing. Then that was bad. Now, being a bad thing is way better than being a no thing. Yeah.
All press is good press.
Sad. I hope we grow out of this, or grow back into something where if you're known for being a jerk, it's not great for your career.
It's your thing.
Now it is.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays beginning at 1 on KMOX.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
Now that you've taken on that big job, you shouldn't have to settle for the big box. You've earned a trip to Northern Tool, and we're ready for the details. We know all about the little things that make the biggest difference. Maybe that's why they call us a problem solver's paradise. From pressure washers to power tools, pallet jacks to push carts, Northern Tool and Equipment carries the brands you depend on, like North Star, DeWalt, Milwaukee, and Strongway. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Yes, with inflation, interest rate increases, and a possible recession looming, we are no doubt facing uncertain times in the housing market. But as a realtor with over 20 years of experience, I can tell you, if you're thinking of selling your home, now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through these times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and we offer all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
On Sunday, April 16th, the Cardinals host the Pirates, and that day, 25,000 fans aged 16 and older will take home a mystery nickname jersey, courtesy of Maryville University. Throughout the seasons, players with unique nicknames have left their mark, like me, the Mad Hungarian. And the Cardinals will honor some of these players with this fun mystery jersey giveaway. That's Sunday, April 16th. Get your tickets at cardinals.com.
This is Paul Goldschmidt. See you at the ballpark.
Sunday, April 16th is Donate Life Day at the ballpark, presented by Mid-America Transplant. That day, the Cardinals host the Pirates, and fans who purchase a special themed ticket will receive an exclusive Cardinals cap supporting organ and tissue donation. A portion of each ticket will be donated back to support Mid-America Transplant. That's Sunday, April 16th, Donate Life Day at the ballpark. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit cardinals.com/theme.
This is Tyler O'Neill. Thank you for being the best fans in baseball.
At 12:31, we have sunny skies, 69 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. China's military says they're ready to fight after 3 days of combat exercises around Taiwan. BBC correspondent Shaima Halil reports.
China said it was simulating sealing off Taiwan. The Chinese Army published a short video of the simulated attacks on Taiwan, with missiles fired from land, sea, and air into the island's territory, 2 of them exploding as they hit their targets. Taiwan considers itself a sovereign state, while China sees it as a breakaway province that will eventually be brought under Beijing's control, by force if necessary. It views any support of Taiwan as interference in its internal affairs.
Louisville police say at least 4 people were killed, 9 others wounded in a shooting at a bank building in downtown Louisville. Metro Police Deputy Chief Paul Humphrey told a news conference the suspect was also dead after the Monday morning shooting. One of the two black Democrats thrown out of the Tennessee House last week appeared likely to get his seat back soon. Nashville's Metro Council could return Justin Jones to the legislature immediately when it votes today to fill the vacant position on an interim basis. Checking the forecast for today, it's going to be pretty, a mix of clouds and sun, a high around 75, clear tonight with an overnight low of 52. Right now, sunny skies, 69 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
YMCA camp counselors get to laugh, play, and lead youth in meaningful camp experiences. Be outside. Be in charge of the fun. That's a summer job with benefits. Hiring for day camp, Y Camp Lakewood overnight camp, and lifeguards. Visit gwrymca.org.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt.
Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's the Cards and Rockies tonight.Emmett Total Access 645. First pitch 740.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
It is the show on KMOX. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji are with you now. We go back to the guest line today, and it's the sort of issue that I don't think enough people are talking about, and that is the future of water, not just in this country, but on the planet, and in particular, what's happening in the United States, because we know that it can be a very scarce resource, and when that happens, we got a problem. We are joined now by Travis Lingenfelter with the Mojave County Board of Supervisors, District 1, who is the chairman there, and joins us today on KMOX. Thank you for being with us, Travis. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you today for having me.
Yeah, I know that this is a very important issue, especially for you out west. We know that droughts and scarcity of water is a very, very big deal. I mean, we live in Missouri, and we are surrounded by fresh water. We're surrounded by rivers. So it feels like an abundance to us. What really is the situation out where you are in Arizona?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's becoming an issue that's of growing concern from where I sit and with who I deal with. I would say that securing the West's water resources is probably the most important work that we have going on out here. I'm sure you've read more and more coverage about the 7 basin states who all rely on the Colorado River. Water in Arizona, as one of those states, it's a limited and vital resource. And as Lake Mead and Lake Powell and the entire Colorado River system actually continues to crash, we go into these shortage declarations, and it becomes a real issue. And I think that's sort of increased in importance for our Colorado River communities, which for a lot of them, it's 100% of their water supply.
When you say securing the water supply there, what goes into that word that you're securing that water from, and for whom you're securing that water?
Yeah, that's a great question. So sort of the Reader's Digest version I would offer up as allotted in the Colorado River Compact way back in 1944, Arizona was provided 2.8 million acre feet of Colorado River water annually. For your listeners, 1 acre foot of water is approximately 326,000 gallons. That 2.8 million acre feet of Colorado River water is 36% of the state of Arizona's total water supply. And as I mentioned before, for many of our Colorado River communities in western Arizona, it represents a portion of that represents 100% of their water supply. A lot of our communities along the river, it's their only water supply, and they don't have several different sources of water as many of the central Arizona urban Phoenix communities have. So when we talk about preserving water on the river, way back when the Arizona Water Commission, which was the predecessor of our current Arizona Department of Water Resources. So way back when the allocation for Arizona was divided after lengthy studies, that Water Commission recommended an approximate 90-10 split of what we call priority 4 water between urban central Arizona and then they left about 10% of the water for rural on-river communities, with Arizona in the Phoenix area receiving about the lion's share of the water. That 10% was reserved expressly for the on-river communities as an acknowledgement by the state of Arizona of the on-river communities' need for and the right to water. Basically, it was in that determination way back when, it was the Arizona Department of Water Resources' unequivocal position that this water was to be reserved for future municipal and industrial use along the river and was not to be considered as supplies available for any other purpose. So where we are now, fast forward, with the drought, it's exacerbated, really a water issue here, where you have central Arizona that it continues to grow. I think that this year they've just been named as the fastest growing area in the whole country. And we're starting to see water strains. We're starting to see water strains in the western portion of the Phoenix area. And we're starting to see potential water strains in areas like Queen Creek and Pinal County, which is, on the western side of the valley. So they're running out of water down there, and they're looking for other sources. And they're going to come for as much of that last 10% as they can get. So that's why we're, from the Utah border, really, all the way to the Mexican border along the Colorado River, our counties and our communities are completely organized and in lockstep opposed to these types of transfers.
Travis Lingenfelter with the Mojave County Board of Supervisors in Arizona. We are talking about the water, which really is, it's a crisis. I would say it seems to be a much bigger issue from even from here, from St. Louis, looking at it, because you have firms from the East Coast. You have New York-based firms that have purchased water rights in your part of the country. And that is I don't know if this is a common practice. It seems to be really extraordinary, and it doesn't seem to be right. Is this something that happens a lot?
Absolutely not. That's a wonderful question. We have these East Coast hedge funds. We have Greenstone, who we're currently in a court battle with over a precedent-setting water transfer, proposing to transfer water off of what they call the main stem of the Colorado River, 200 miles east to the town of Queen Creek. They're trying to transfer approximately 2,088 acre-feet of Colorado River water for a one-time payment of $27 million to this hedge fund. So it's water barons. It would be a good way to talk about it. It's completely speculatory. They're looking to purchase properties along the Colorado River and then do deals with Central Arizona communities or whoever's going to pay the most for the water. And it is wrong. I'm trying to think of something that would be something you could relate to. I know the Mississippi River reached record lows, and that actually negatively impacted navigation of commerce and things like that. Now imagine those lower levels of the Mississippi River, for instance, for the foreseeable future, and the prospect of your communities having to cut water allocations to people's homes, while at the same time hedge funds are exploiting land just to sell the water that they do not own to rich communities that are about 200 miles away. And imagine that same scenario happening, and yet due to a water financing law in our state or in your state, allowing the state to help fund drinking water programs, that your residents who are going to have to cut water to their taps are actually funding through their tax dollars the exploitation of their own future water resources. So it's wrong on so many different levels. We have a program here, or an agency called the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority, and in this hedge fund transfer of water, which is precedent setting, it's the first time we've ever seen one actually get through. There's been 3 prior attempts. They've all been crushed. This is the first one that's actually gone through. and they're using a program that was never meant to take water away from one Arizona community to give it to another. They're borrowing money, $27 million, to pay this hedge fund for the right to use this water. It's completely wrong. On that issue alone, we've contacted the Arizona Attorney General, our new Attorney General, Chris Mays. But really, we're looking for help from the governor's office to reaffirm that 10% of water on the Colorado River that was left for the Colorado River, that is reaffirmed. Every single Arizona Department of Water Resources director has reaffirmed that. It needs to be reaffirmed.
Basically, what's happening here is you have these companies, a hedge fund company says, that's the Southwest. They're going to have trouble getting water in the future. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we're placing a bet that we can buy their water and sell it back to them when it's a real crisis. That's what's going on here, basically, right?
Spot on. It is completely speculatory, and they're basically looking from Market Street and Wall Street, back east, and saying, hey, there's a huge opportunity here, a multi-billion-dollar opportunity here for us to capitalize on crisis. And, that doesn't bode well politically and economically for the river communities. It's kind of shaping up as sort of a David and Goliath scenario, because politically and economically, we don't have the clout of the urban areas, Phoenix and those areas where, our Arizona legislators, about 80% of them are from the urban areas, and they don't really understand how important this water is to the rural communities. So that's something that our advocacy and education, we continue to try to reach them and to convince them that, hey, all Arizonans are important. All Arizonans need water. We need security for water planning. And this is a huge transfer of wealth, not just water, but a transfer of wealth and future opportunities.
And in addition to that, there was the story from months ago, maybe it was a year, that Saudi Arabia had purchased some water rights in Arizona. Is that also true?
That is also true.
Wow.
It's something that Arizona right now, I hate to say it's evil Saudi Arabia companies or evil hedge funds. I mean, they're capitalizing on the fact that Arizona does not have rules to prevent this speculatory stuff on the river. And in the Saudi Arabia's case, we don't have rules right now in the state of Arizona outside of the active management areas within our rural communities or rural areas. We don't have any rules that safeguard groundwater, unless you're in something that we call the management area. If you're in a rural area, you can buy cheap land and you can drill as many wells as you want. You can pump as much water as you want. You don't have to report it to anybody. And it doesn't matter if you negatively affect a community or your neighbors or anything. It's insane.
That just does not seem like it's sustainable. Travis, we have about 30 seconds here. And I believe that this will ultimately become one of the country's biggest problems, not just in the Southwest, but we could see droughts everywhere. The climate is changing. We know that it is. And I guess the question is, how does what's happening in Arizona, what's happening in your part of the country, if you have about 30 seconds here, how will that ultimately affect people around the country?
Well, I think it needs to serve as a wake-up call. I don't know if most people back east realize, but Yuma County, which is on our side, they're along the river, southern Arizona, 70% of the nation's produce comes from Yuma County farms in the wintertime. That's where we get all of our lettuce. That's where we get all of our vegetables. And so unless you want to start importing vegetables from overseas and other countries, we have to take care of our river communities. There's so much economic benefit that comes from this water staying on the river.
Travis Lingenfelter with the Mojave County Board of Supervisors, the chairman there, District 1. We really appreciate your time and wish you luck in all of this. Thank you for giving us so much time today.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. We've got more coming up when we come back on KMOX.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could do business without busy work? With Ramp, you can. Ramp is the future of finance with smart automation, corporate cards, and spend management. Just imagine, no more expense reports or shuffling wrinkled receipts. No more slogging through invoices or getting surprised by unexpected charges. Just your business's big idea with smart spend controls, automation that crushes busy work, and real-time insights so you can make it happen. In other words, Ramp completely reimagined finance to make it work for your business. Get set up, issue corporate cards, and start making payments in less than 15 minutes. See how Ramp does finance. Join today and get $250 just for signing up. Just go to ramp.com/finance. That's ramp.com/finance to get $250 for signing up. That's ramp.com/finance.
Amy Marks Coors and Chris Ranji here.
Join us Tuesday, April 18th at the Center of Creative Arts as KMOX presents a conversation with CBS Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett.
Major will be there to sign his new book, The Big Truth.
You can pre-purchase your copy at Left Bank Books or the night of the event.
A conversation with CBS Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett, Tuesday, April 18th. The event is free. You do need to reserve your spot, though. For more information and reservations, KMOX.com/events.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, company, team bonding, and fun. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 25th at City Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
It's been a long time coming, but the new XFL has arrived, and it is here to stay. We're pushing the action, the boundaries, and the limits of what's possible. We're making dreams come true, both on and off the field. This is for every player, every fan, every city, and it's a chance for everyone to be part of something bigger. The wait is over. Come experience the XFL. Your St. Louis Battlehawks take on the Seattle Sea Dragons at the Dome, Sunday, April 16th at 2 p.m. Tickets on sale now. Visit xfl.com/tickets. That's xfl.com/tickets. Come out and cheer on your Battlehawks. Come experience the XFL.
Prepare an emergency kit, sign up for local alerts, and make a family communications plan. Get started today at ready.gov/plan. A public service message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dude, I'm here for the show. What show?
St. Louis, this is your show.
The show.
The show on KMOX.
Amy and Chris wrapping up the show here in a moment. Dave Glover comes in, and of course, we hang out for that 1 o'clock hour. You heard the promo for it. We've got it's a week from tomorrow, April 18th, at the Center of Creative Arts in U City.
Coca,
right by I love saying the roundabout. It's pretty close to the Del Mar roundabout.
You talk about the roundabout more than I anticipated you would.
I love that
more than anybody's ever talked about.
I think roundabouts are awesome. I love the one in Forest Park, the one that's right there by Hampton or on Hampton.
Wildwood really got into, let me just say, Wildwood got really into roundabouts because they put 3 of them right in a row, back to back to back on 109 at Manchester. Got rid of the intersections. It's just so many roundabouts you won't know what to do.
Scientifically, it is better for traffic than stop signs. They get traffic moving quicker.
You know what else? You can't run a roundabout. You can run a red light.
You
can run through a stop sign. It's hard to run a roundabout, especially if there's maybe something decorative in the middle.
You can still have an accident, but the odds of it being life-threatening if it's 2 cars hitting each other is very low, But you could blow through a stop sign like you see Andy Candy over at Crown Candy posting videos every day of people blowing through that stop sign, driving like 40 miles an hour. If they hit somebody, they'll kill them. But in a roundabout, that wouldn't happen. Anyway,
Tuesday.
Right near the roundabout, a week from tomorrow.
April 18th.
April 18th, Major Garrett's going to be in town signing copies of his book. We are very excited to have him here. Amy and I will be there. And it'll be a Q&A starting at 7 o'clock. He will be taking questions from the crowd. I believe what we're going to do is ask people to write down questions ahead of time. And then, we'll do it that way. So like when you walk in, you'll be given a card, I believe is how we're going to do it. And you can write down the question you want to ask. And then we'll get to as many of those as possible. And then after the fact, he is signing copies of his book, The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. And you can buy a book there from Left Bank Books. They'll be providing them, or you can bring your own, whatever you decide to do. We're going to have a great time.
It's going to be a ton of fun. We'd love to see you there. Love to meet you. Major would love to sign his book. Ranj, how fancy are you going to dress? Are you going to be fancier than your hat and
I'll be very,
hat fit?
yeah. Totally
Like a
fancier than
suit?
this. I'm not doing suit. I might do jacket.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm not doing suit.
So,
Come on. What are we doing
folks,
here?
you want to get your RSVP because we'll be there and kind of fancy.
KMOX.com/events. It's just an RSVP. I know in the promo it says reservation. It's not exactly a reservation. We're just trying to get a head count. So RSVP, KMOX.com/events. We're getting up there. And we're over 300, I think, now. So, let us know if you're coming or not.
And we would love to see you there. And it's going to be a great time by going to KMOX.com/events and just, letting us know that you're coming. That actually makes us look really good in front of our boss, Steve.
It does.
Which is really important to both of us. And it should be a lot of fun. The Big Truth. You can get the book, as you mentioned, early at Left Bank Books. You can buy the book the night of the event, but you don't want to miss your chance to have the CBS Chief Washington Correspondent, Major Garrett, sign your book, hear the discussion. You hear him here every Thursday, and it's awesome. I'm really looking forward to this event. This will be my first time meeting Major Garrett in person. I know when his first book came out several years ago, visited with Charlie Brennan. Now it's our turn.
It is our turn. Then he's going to have a great time. I know it. We're going to have a good time too. So we hope to see you there. We hope that you'll come in. And don't forget that this week on Thursday, we're going to continue our Sandwich Pascandal. We've got the runoff.
Yeah.
The runoff election. Tomorrow, we will have I don't know if he's coming in studio. Is Vincent?
In
He is.
studio.
Yeah.
Vincent's in studio.
Vince Valenza from Blue City Deli will be here tomorrow campaigning for his place.
Yep.
It'll be Jim LeGrand from LeGrand's on Wednesday campaigning for LeGrand's. And maybe on Wednesday, not sure if we're going to get Michael from Paschetti's, but he might be here too.
Yeah. I mean, it was a huge Sandwich Pascandal. I think we had 500,000 people paying attention to this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but we did have, I don't know, 14,
on Facebook,
1,600 comments.
On Facebook, it was everybody had an opinion.
Everyone had an opinion. And remember, this was your vote.
Yeah. KMOX Facebook page. Hey, this is if you have a problem with the way the votes went, that's on you. It's not on Amy. It's not on me. We just provided the platform. All right. Let's do it. 1 o'clock. We've got Dave Glover coming up. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Amy will. I'll be gone tomorrow, but you'll have a good time with Michael Kelly. That'll be tomorrow. I'm Chris Ranji. Dave Glover Show next on KMOX.
Diamonds Direct is making it easier than ever to design your dream ring at your dream payment. Announcing all new aggressive financing options up to 60 months. These new creative plans allow you to pick your payment so you don't have to compromise on that engagement ring. We know that just like that ideal engagement ring